All right, tip number 3 to public speaking. Hey, just remember, when you're ready, the book is out there. 11 Steps to Powerful Presentations in Public Speaking. It's out there. Amazon.com. It's also available at powerhousemotivations.com/Success University. Go ahead over there, get your copy. Join me back here. Tip number 3, organize your speech so it's easy to remember. Make it easy to remember. I mean, organize it in a way that makes it interesting and easy for both you and the audience to remember. Now, this is simple. There's a couple of basics that you have to know before you go to this step, though. A couple of basics, just a couple that I want you to know. All right. Number one, basic point number one that I'm going to make: only speak when you have something to speak about. Only speak for a reason or for a purpose. You should have a purpose when you go to speak. People all the time, they jump up, they start speaking, and they don't have anything to talk about. It's awful. It's sad. Only speak when you have a reason. Never. Only speak when you have a reason and a point. All right? And never try to make a point without sharing a story. And never share a story without a point. Sounds simple, right? It sounds simple. You would imagine, you would think that the world would be an awesome place. It would be a much better place if every time people stood up to speak, they only spoke for a purpose or a reason. But as we know very well, the world is full of people who stand up and they're speaking and they're just talking, speaking just to be heard. Don't make that mistake. It's a critical mistake. All right. So only speak when you have a reason or a point to make, and never try to make a point without sharing a story, and never share a story without a point. Every story should have a point. And here's the next thing, right? I want you to be creative in figuring out what you want to share and why. Okay? Because if there's a reason that you're speaking, you have a goal, you have an end game. There's an end game that you want to get to. All right? You have a goal. So you're only speaking to achieve that goal. Okay? So today I'm sharing this video with you because my goal is to help you to improve your presentation and your public speaking and presentation skills. That's my goal. My goal is to help you. Now, I would love to help you get a copy of the book. Remember, was it last video we talked about win-win presentation? No, that was Forte. Get a copy of the book. Right? I would love to help you get a copy of the book, improve your presentations, and have you stand on stage and share your story to have a positive impact on the rest of the world. If you did that, it would be a great day. It would be a great day. The world needs your story. But before you stand up and get up on stage to speak, figure out your purpose. What's your reason? What's your point? And now think about what stories are you going to share to make your point. All right? What are you willing to share? Now, earlier we talked about your forte, where you're going to share your personal story with your audience in order to build a rapport and connect with the audience. So, depending on what your end game is, you may want to come back and tell the audience a few stories to help them understand how you got to the realization of whatever it is that you're trying to share. You see, for me personally, I know that many moons ago when I was in the United States Navy. Most of you already know I did a long time in the United States Navy, 24 years almost, right? 24 years to a matter of days and hours and seconds, but 24 years for the most part. And when I was there, I discovered something extremely important. I discovered that I had this gift for speaking, but then I also discovered that in the military, we have we have some bad habits when it comes to jargon. And we're going to talk about jargon a little while down the road a little way. So, stick with me. I'm going to give you a couple of more tips, and one of them is going to talk about jargon and getting away from jargon. But I knew I had to get away from the military jargon, because it's like every sentence that I use, we were using military slang. We're using words that I won't even use them here. Actually, most of them I've forgotten. I put them out of my mind and I can't even think about them. So in order to figure out to speak and share points and stories on purpose, I discovered that, hey, I better go out and get some practice in. And through getting that practice in, I discovered that there's a whole lot about public speaking that I didn't know at the time. I didn't know at the time. And it led me on a massive to a buttload of research. I did the research, came back, and I discovered that, you know what? Hmm, Public speaking is a skill. Giving awesome, amazing presentations is a skill. But anytime you're going to give a public presentation or you're going to give a speech or presentation, you should always start with the end in mind. Craft your closing. What are the last words you want to say when that presentation is over? And then figure out what stories you want to share to get there. You know, and you want to lay your stories out. One story in the beginning, one story in the middle, one story at the end. And each one of those stories, it's a real story. It's a story from your life or the life of someone that you've heard that you may know. You share that story and carry your audience on a journey. Story number one, make a point. Story number two, make a point. Story number three, make a point. Story number four, close at the final destination, your home. That's speaking tip number three. Make it easy to remember. Organize it so it's interesting and easy to remember. You need more details? Hey, this is my copy of the book. This one's yours. It's waiting for you. Head over to Amazon.com, PowerhouseMotivations.com/Success University or /11 Steps to Powerful Presentations. Get your copy.